Al Capone. Most people know him as just a gangster. But Capone was much more than that. He was a businessman running one of the most profitable industries in American history. And this wasn't a market created by free competition. It was created by government policy. Prohibition didn't just ban alcohol. It built a brand new market. Legal competition disappeared, and the entire supply chain fell into the hands of those brave enough to take it. This artificial market turned ordinary criminals into millionaires, corrupted entire cities, and reminded us of a simple economic truth. Where there is demand, someone will find a way to supply it. When the 18th Amendment went into effect in 1920, the government framed it as a moral crusade. Alcohol, they claimed, caused crime, poverty, and domestic violence. Ban it, and society would clean up. But this was politics, not economics. People's desire for alcohol didn't disappear overnight. If anything, it grew. Where legal supply vanished, prices soared. And that's exactly where Capone built his empire. Born in 1899 in Brooklyn to poor Italian immigrants, Capone entered the underworld at a young age. Chicago, especially during Prohibition, became the gold mine of organized crime. Alcohol was no longer just a vice. It was underground oil. And Capone, with his intelligence, connections, and ruthlessness, was perfectly positioned to dominate it. His organization was not a street gang. It was vertically integrated, like a corporation. He controlled breweries, distilleries, import routes, and distribution networks. His products flowed into hundreds of speakeasies, hidden bars that paid for reliable access to liquor. At its peak, his operation earned an estimated $100 million a year, about $1.5 billion today. Capone didn't just make money, he laundered it. Restaurants, nightclubs, and cash-heavy businesses masked the origin of his wealth while giving him public legitimacy. Police officers, city officials, and politicians often turned a blind eye. In a city where half the economy had gone underground, Capone wasn't just a criminal. He was an employer, a benefactor, even a local hero to some. His power wasn't only based on violence, it was risk management. He knew his profits depended entirely on prohibition. The day alcohol became legal again, those profit margins would vanish. So he diversified into gambling, prostitution, and other rackets. But alcohol remained the cornerstone, because the economics were unbeatable. Before Prohibition, beer and whiskey were cheap, low-margin commodities. Once illegal, every risk added a premium: bribes, smuggling, middlemen fees. Prices skyrocketed, yet consumers paid. Demand was inelastic. Alcohol was ingrained in culture and social life. Capone realized what lawmakers didn't. Prohibition didn't stop crime, it industrialized it. Capone's real strength was financial. Money flowed like blood through Chicago's veins. Corruption wasn't a side effect, it was the system itself. Rival gangs fought for distribution territory, resulting in violent events like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. But the foundation of his empire was finance, not bullets. Policy, however, can change in an instant. By the early 1930s, public opinion and politics shifted. The Great Depression made tax revenue from alcohol far more appealing than moral arguments. Capone had become a national symbol of lawlessness, and the government found a new way to go after him: taxes. In 1931, he was convicted of income tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. Ironically, it wasn't a gun or a rival gang. It was paperwork that brought him down. By 1933, Prohibition was repealed. Capone's massive revenue source vanished. Legal breweries returned, prices normalized, and the black market empire became taxable revenue. The lesson: Prohibition didn't fail because crime was too strong. It failed because the economics were too powerful. Demand ignores the law, supply adapts, and profits this large cannot be suppressed. The same dynamics exist today. Take cannabis. Decades of underground sales couldn't be stopped by law. Now, as legalization spreads, profits flow to corporations and governments. Crypto markets followed a similar path, initially wild and unregulated, then regulated and consolidated. Sanctions, energy policy, environmental rules all create artificial scarcity. Wherever governments restrict supply, opportunities arise. Those who spot gaps early, legally or otherwise, profit the most. The modern financial takeaway: 1. Markets are never purely free. Policy shapes money flow. 2. Scarcity, especially artificial scarcity, creates opportunity. 3. Policy-driven profits are temporary. A single decision can change everything. Diversification is key. Capone rose because he understood his environment. He fell because he couldn't adapt fast enough. Prohibition ended. Capone went to prison. But the cycle of policy, scarcity, and profit continues. Today, in cannabis, crypto, commodities, and anywhere, demand outpaces legal supply. History may not repeat, but if you ignore it, it will crush you anyway. Please subscribe and support me to keep this kind of content coming. Goodbye.